Hello everyone, it's Diamond here. For this video, I thought I would do something a little bit different today, and that is an Animal Crossing Hunger Games type of simulation. Here are our candidates for the districts. For District 1 through 6, those are just villagers that I have currently on my island. Then in District 7, 8, 10, 11, and 12, I just put some random characters in the game. And in District 9, I've put villagers that I used to have on my island. Now to get a closer look, in District 1, of course, we have me and Dobby. Then District 2 is Apollo and Buzz. District 3 is Wendy and Lily. District 4, Dora and Drift. District 5, Phil and Shep. District 6, Walt and Brewster. District 7, Celeste and Blathers. District 8, Wilbur and Orville. District 9, Hazel and Ricky. And then in District 10, I just put these characters for shits and giggles. Marty and Chelsea. These are the Sanrio and Animal Crossing collab villagers. Then Timmy and Tommy. And last but not least, we've got, of course, Isabel and Tom Nook. So with that being said, let's proceed. The Bloodbath. As the tributes stand on their podiums, the horn sounds. Hazel runs away from the cornucopia. Diamond runs away from the cornucopia. Phil, Shep, Orville, and Walt share everything they gather before running. Buzz grabs a backpack and retreats. Isabel gathers as much food as she can. Blathers runs away from the cornucopia. Apollo stays at the cornucopia for resources. Tommy throws a knife into Celeste's chest. Oh my god, Tommy. Chelsea runs away from the cornucopia. Brewster runs away from the cornucopia. Timmy strangles Tom Nook with a rope? Excuse me? He was your uncle or your dad. Uncle. I don't know. He was family. Lily grabs a backpack and retreats. Dora runs away from the cornucopia. Ricky runs away from the cornucopia. Oh no, Wendy, what have you done? I'm scared to scroll down, guys. Wendy scares Wilbur away from the cornucopia. Okay, thank god. Dobby finds a bow, some arrows, and a quiver. Okay, don't kill anyone just yet, Dobby. Marty runs away from the cornucopia. Drift runs away from the cornucopia. Oh my god. This is already crazy. Diamond collects fruit from a tree. Walt diverts Hazel's attention and runs away. Isabel, Apollo, Chelsea, and Dora hunt for other tributes. Dobby and Buzz track down and kill Timmy. Oh my god. Ricky fishes. Shep questions his sanity. Honestly real. Lily attacks Orville, but she manages to escape. Wait. Lily attacks Orville, but she manages to escape. Yeah, okay. Anyways, Tommy begs for Wendy to kill him. She refuses, keeping Tommy alive. What the fuck? Blathers receives fresh fruit from an unknown sponsor. Brewster, Phil, Drift, and Marty raid Wilbur's camp while he is hunting. We proceed. 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Celeste, Tom Nook, and Timmy have died. Night 1, Dora quietly hums. Phil and Isabel tell stories about themselves to each other. Orville starts a fire. Oh no. Diamond convinces Wilbur to snuggle with him. That's cute. Chelsea sets up camp for the night. Thank you, Chelsea, we say in unison. Brewster looks at the night sky. Well, I was expecting that from Blathers, but okay. Blathers receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Drift quietly hums. Marty looks up at the night sky. Lily falls into a pit and dies. I swear that's not supposed to be funny, but guys, anyways, Ricky goes to sleep. Tommy accidentally detonates a landmine while trying to arm it. Jesus Christ. Dobby and Walt run into each other and decide to choose for the night. Honestly, yeah, they're like besties. Buzz begs for Shep to kill him. He refuses, keeping Buzz alive. Wendy tends to her wounds. Hazel begs Apollo to kill her. He refuses, keeping Hazel alive. As you should, Apollo. She was my homegirl when she was on my island. Day 2, Wilbur makes a slingshot. Oh! Diamond falls into a frozen lake and drowns. Wow, okay. Marty picks flowers. Walt discovers a river. Wendy discovers a river. Don't fall in there like I did, guys. Well, I technically fell into a lake, but still. Apollo dies trying to escape the arena. Phil constructs a shack. Hazel receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Chelsea receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Brewster receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Buzz attacks Shep, but he manages to escape. Drift hunts for other tributes. Ricky defeats Dora in a fight but spares her life. Orville shoots a poisonous blow dart into Isabel's neck, slowly killing her. Okay. Dobby constructs a shack. Blathers makes a wooden spear. 5 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Lily, Tommy, Diamond, Apollo, and Isabel. Oh my god, rest in peace, guys. Night 2. Brewster receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Chelsea and Wilbur run into each other and decide to choose for the night, as they should. Orville stays awake all night. Ricky sees a fire but stays hidden. Wendy cooks her food before putting her fire out. Drift receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Blathers decapitates Buzz with a sword. Dobby stays awake all night. Marty cries himself to sleep. Oh. Walt questions his sanity. Real. Hazel, Phil, and Shep cheerfully sing songs together. Honestly, yeah, I can see that for them. That's cute. Dora sees a fire but stays hidden. Okay, proceed. Marty is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Wilbur sprains his ankle while Wilbur sprains his ankle while running away from Walt. Brewster questions her sanity. Okay. Phil receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Dobby runs away from Drift. Hazel makes a wooden spear. Chelsea goes hunting. Wendy travels to higher ground. Blathers strangles Orville after engaging in a fistfight. Dora dies from thirst. Shep shoots an arrow into Ricky's head. Arena event. A monstrous hurricane wreaks havoc on the arena. Dobby survives. Wendy pushes Shep into an incoming boulder. Wendy, wow. Marty stabs Phil, then pushes him close enough to the hurricane to suck him in. Oh my god. Walt stabs Blathers, then pushes him close enough to the. Oh my god, okay. Brewster tries to save Drift from being sucked into the hurricane, only to be sucked in as well. How many people are going to die? Okay, well, Chelsea survives. Wilbur stabs Hazel, then pushes her close enough to the hurricane to suck her in. We proceed. 10. Oh my god, 10 people died. 10 cannon shots can be, well, 10 villagers. Anyways, 10 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Buzz, Orville, Dora, Ricky, Shep, Phil, Blathers, Brewster, Drift, and Hazel have died. Walt fends Wilbur, Marty, and Dobby away from his fire. Wendy thinks about winning. Chelsea receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Proceed. The feast. The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs from the tributes' families. Wendy decides not to go to the feast. Walt sets an explosive off, killing Chelsea. Oh. Marty decides not to go to the feast. Dobby decides not to go to the feast. Wilbur decides not to go to the feast. Okay. Wilbur attacks Walt, but he manages to escape. Dobby receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Marty kills Wendy with a hatchet. Fallen tributes 4. 2 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Chelsea and Wendy have died while she was thinking about winning. That's so sad for her anyways. Night 4. Marty stabs Wilbur with a tree branch. Walt climbs a tree to rest. Dobby accidentally steps on a landmine. No. Walt ambushes Marty and kills him. 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Wilbur, Dobby, and Marty have died. The winner is Walt from District 6. Oh my god. Okay, well, we're going to try again. Because this was like kind of fun, guys, was it not? Anyway, the bloodbath. As the tribute stands on their podiums, the horn sounds. Orville and Buzz fight for a bag. Orville gives up and retreats. Dora runs away from the cornucopia. Wendy runs away from the cornucopia. Timmy takes a sickle from inside the cornucopia. Marty retrieves a trident from inside the cornucopia. Chelsea grabs a backpack, not realizing it's empty. Brewster grabs a backpack and retreats. Walt breaks Drift's nose for a basket of bread. Diamond grabs a backpack and retreats. Phil finds a bow, some arrows, and a quiver. Hazel runs away from the cornucopia. Celeste grabs a backpack, not realizing it's empty. Wilbur runs away from the cornucopia. Blathers runs away from the cornucopia. Lily runs away from the cornucopia. Shep runs away from the cornucopia. Apollo takes a handful of throwing knives. Oh. Tom Nook runs away from the cornucopia. Isabel, Ricky also run away from the cornucopia. Tommy stays at the cornucopia for resources. Dobby grabs a sword. Oh, proceed. Day 1, Lily picks flowers. Okay, this time she's more peaceful, I guess. Wilbur, Walt, Isabella, and Phil raid Orville's camp while he is hunting. Blathers dies from hunger. Oh, Marty fishes. Ricky camouflages himself in the bushes. Diamond steals from Dobby while he isn't looking. Bitch, I would never. Timmy stabs Tom Nook while his back is turned. Bitch, did we not have this talk? Timmy, did we not have this talk in the previous game? Oh my god, okay. Hazel, Shep, Tommy, and Buzz hunt for other tributes. Drift stalks Chelsea. Wendy travels to higher ground. Apollo is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Brewster makes a slingshot. Celeste bleeds out due to untreated injuries. 2 people have died? Well, 3. Blathers, Tom Nook, and Celeste have died. Timmy goes to sleep. Buzz looks at the night sky. Ricky attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful. Dobby and Hazel hold hands. Diamond thinks about winning. Well, yes. Orville defeats Apollo in a fight but spares his life. Tommy thinks about home. Walt and Drift talk about the tributes still alive. Wendy passes out from exhaustion. Shep stays awake all night. Dora cries herself to sleep. Lily quietly hums. Marty lets Chelsea into his shelter. Wilbur cries himself to sleep. Brewster and Isabel tell stories themselves to each other. Phil attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful. Day 2. Ricky, Buzz, Walt, and Lily raid Hazel's camp while she is hunting. Isabel sprains her ankle while running away from Dora. Tommy thinks about home. Phil unknowingly eats toxic berries. Wilbur scares Diamond off. Brewster thinks about home. Marty tries to spearfish with a trident. Drift tends to Dobby's wounds. Chelsea injures herself. Wendy and Apollo hunt for other tributes. Shep steals from Timmy while he isn't looking. Orville receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. We proceed. One cannon shot can be heard in the distance. Phil has died. After night 2, Hazel shoots a poisonous blow dart into Wilbur's neck, slowly killing him. Brewster stabs Wendy while her back is turned. Isabel defeats Marty in a fight but spares his life. Dora convinces Timmy to not kill her, only to kill him instead. Buzz cries himself to sleep. Tommy loses sight of where he is. Diamond receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Ricky stays awake all night. Walt, Dobby, and Chelsea cheerfully sing songs together. Apollo accidentally steps on a landmine. Lily and Drift tell stories about themselves to each other. Shep is awoken by nightmares. Orville receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Oh. Dobby makes a slingshot. Hazel searches for firewood. Walt makes a slingshot. Marty searches for firewood. Orville receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Tommy searches for firewood. Isabel and Lily hunt for other tributes. Brewster picks flowers. Buzz dies from hunger. Oh. Dora thinks about home. Ricky falls into a pit and dies. Diamond receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Chelsea diverts Drift's attention and runs away. Shep explores the area. 6 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Wilbur, Wendy, Timmy, Apollo, Buzz, and Ricky have died. Night 3, Isabel attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful. Hazel, Lily, Tommy, and Drift tell each other ghost stories to lighten the mood. Marty and Diamond tell stories about themselves to each other. Shep receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Walt defeats Dobby in a fight but spares his life. Orville convinces Dora to snuggle with her. Chelsea goes to sleep. Brewster questions his sanity. We proceed. Day 4, Brewster is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Dora, Diamond, Marty, and Walt raid Tommy's camp while he is hunting. Isabel tries to spearfish with a trident. Shep and Drift split up to search for resources. Orville searches for a water source. Dobby receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Don't be shy, give it to Orville. Chelsea attacks Lily, but she manages to escape. Hazel receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. No cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Finally, someone has not died. Lily forces Shep to kill Brewster or Chelsea. He decides to kill Brewster. Oh. Isabel tries to treat her infection. Orville pushes Walt off a cliff during a night fight. Dobby sees a fire but stays hidden. Dora, Hazel, and Drift sleep in shifts. Diamond sees a fire but stays hidden. Marty unknowingly eats toxic berries. Tommy receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Day 5, Isabel tries to sleep through the entire day. Orville, Hazel, Chelsea, and Shep hunt for other tributes. Dora scares Dobby off. Diamond travels to higher ground. Drift tracks down and kills Lily. Oh my god. Tommy goes hunting. 4 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Brewster, Walt, Marty, and Lily have died. Okay, we proceed into night 5. Dobby attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful. Chelsea kills Diamond as he tries to run. This bitch. Orville convinces Tommy to snuggle with him. Isabel and Hazel talk about the tributes still alive. Dora receives a hat share from an unknown sponsor. Shep loses sight of where he is. Drift unknowingly eats toxic berries. The feast. The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs from the tribute's families. Isabel decides not to go to the feast. Dobby decides not to go to the feast. Chelsea sets Orville on fire with a Molotov. Dora decides not to go to the feast. Hazel decides not to go to the feast. Tommy throws a knife into Shep's chest. Day 6. Dobby picks flowers. Tommy questions his sanity. Isabel stalks Hazel. Dora runs away from Chelsea. 4 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. I have died. Drift, Orville, and Shep have also died. Night 6. Dobby, Hazel, and Isabel sleep in shifts. Chelsea and Dora work together to drown Tommy. Day 7. Chelsea sprains her ankle while running away from Hazel. Dobby, Dora, and Isabel hunt for other tributes. 1 cannon shot can be heard in the distance. Tommy has died. Night 7. Chelsea is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Dobby sets up camp for the night. Dora cries herself to sleep. Hazel and Isabel hold hands. Day 8. Dobby tries to sleep through the entire day. Hazel injures herself. Chelsea severely injures Dora and leaves her to die. Isabel sees smoke rising in the distance, but decides not to investigate. Dora has died. Night 8. Hazel thinks about home. Dobby begs for Chelsea to kill him, but she refuses, keeping him alive. Isabel attempts to start a fire, but is unsuccessful. Day 9. This is going well. Hazel sees smoke rising in the distance, but decides not to investigate. Isabel practices her archery. Dobby injures himself. Chelsea falls into a pit and dies. 1 cannon shot can be heard in the distance, and then, yeah, it's like Chelsea. Night 9. Isabel dies of what the hell? Isabel dies of dysentery. Yeah, dysentery. Dobby throws a knife into Hazel's head. Oh, the winner is Dobby from District 1. Well, this was interesting. This was interesting to say the least. So yeah, that is all for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to see something like this in the future again, just leave a comment, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you liked this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!